Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Jones here with a very important Facebook Mentions report on this Saturday evening. As you know, 3 weeks ago, former head of Donald Trump's campaign, his confidant, Roger Stone, was in Austin, Texas. And we interviewed him, and he talked about the secret meeting with the Koch brothers, the $75 million, other meetings coming up, how they plan to broker the convention and steal it from Trump. The media, within 24 hours, called it a conspiracy theory. 2 weeks after that, it was all confirmed. I just talked to him 5 minutes ago, but I was on the road. So I've gotten to a friend's house here working on Saturday, not in the studio. This is on the road, and am bringing you exclusive info on specifically who is funding the anti-Trump violent protest all over the United States, in Ohio, in Chicago, shutting down rallies, people trying to get on stage to attack him, wearing Bernie shirts. And I thought it was so weird they were all wearing Bernie shirts. It's a setup. It's a frame-up. Attack Trump and attack her main enemy, because it looks bad to be doing this type of anti-American garbage. This is a serious, dirty trick. I'm going to call him right now. Again, he's been waiting about 10, 15 minutes till I got off the road. Let's go ahead and call Roger Stone, StoneZone.com, the consummate insider, Breitbart writer. Here we go. Let's see if he answers now. Calling Roger Stone. Yes, Roger. Sorry, just got off the road. Sorry, I'm late. Please give us this breaking info. It's even more amazing than the last data dump you gave us 3 weeks ago. We're on Facebook Mentions. I'm going to hold the phone up so the audio can be picked up, Roger.
I think everybody in the country has now heard about these violent protests in Chicago, which are being blamed on supporters of Bernie Sanders. Alex, this is a false flag. These demonstrators are flying under a false banner. They are not Sanders supporters by and large. This is an operation directed by supporters of Hillary Clinton, paid for by George Soros and MoveOn, by David Brock at Media Matters from America, also funded by Soros, and also by the reclusive billionaire Jonathan Lewis. Now, Lewis was identified in the Miami New Times as a mystery man. He inherited roughly $1 billion from his father, Peter Lewis, and they had been the major financiers of the marijuana legalization efforts across the country. Jonathan Lewis, interestingly, withdrew his support of the Democratic National Committee over the immigration bill that he thought was unfair to gays. In any event, this is a Hillary Clinton operation. The idea here, very clearly, is to divide the Sanders economic voters from Trump. In other words, those voters who've lost their jobs because of NAFTA and all of the other globalist international trade deals that have screwed this country, they now realize these votes are potentially, when Sanders is out of the race, Trump votes, and therefore this is an effort to make Trump toxic, to make a Trump vote, to disqualify him, racist, bigot. The whole thing is essentially a hoax. It's a gambit directed, by the way, by Brock. Now, David Brock was once a friend of mine. In fact, was a comrade in the fight for freedom. But he went over the dark side to the Clintons for money. Big money. And this is his little dirty trick. Unfortunately, they have leaks within their operation. My sources are the very best. The entire conflagration in Chicago is a Hillary Clinton operation. And frankly, I can't see Bernie Sanders have anything to do with it.
I was about to say,
I don't agree with Bernie. I don't agree with Bernie, but I respect him. And this is not his handiwork or the handiwork of his campaign.
Roger, you've been in 9 administrations, worked inside 4 of them. You are the consummate insider in the last decade, 15 years has turned against them. And everything you've reported for us the last 6 months has turned out to be solid gold. Your articles are almost daily on drudgereport.com from Breitbart. You literally, for new viewers, I just want them to know, lead the breaking news cycle with your inside sources in the Democrat, Republican Party, Trump camp, you name it. There's a reason Trump's called you tough, brave, loyal, in his tweets that we're going to add to these articles just for new viewers to know who you are and your bona fides, but not bragging, just laying out some of the background here for new viewers, new listeners. But I know about George Soros. He funded the Ukraine overthrow, playing Catholic off against Orthodox. He helped fund the Arab Spring, Shiite against Sunni, divide and conquer, the great game, balkanization. And when I saw all these Bernie shirts and Bernie people saying we attacked, people shooting guns in the air saying we support Bernie, that is so clearly a way to attack him, make him look like a radical revolutionary, and to make Hillary look good, and then to also make Trump look like the racist when the media plays this up. This is amazing. But this isn't your opinion. Again, to be clear, you have sources inside saying this is a Soros/Brock Media Matters, which they admit is run by the White House. They have weekly meetings. His former transition chief, Obama's former transition chief. You're saying this is a false flag. I agree, you have the inside knowledge, but we've seen the buildup towards race war this summer, this fall, to try to cloud the entire election. Is that what you're getting at? Is this the opening salvo in these attempts?
I think Hillary understands that Trump would lose the votes of certain establishment Republicans if he is the nominee. On the other hand, it doesn't matter because of his crossover outreach. Right now in Ohio, Democrats and independents in the Mahoning Valley, people who've lost their jobs because of these great globalist trade deals, are lining up to vote for Donald Trump in the Republican primary, which is legal in Ohio with some paperwork. And we saw the same crossover in Michigan. So it has occurred to the Clinton people that Bernie's economic voters, not his hard left voters, you're never going to get them. They'll end up going for Hillary. But Bernie's economic voters, blue-collar folks who have just figured out they've been left out of the New World Order economy, are a right target for Trump. He's already getting a crossover. They are petrified of that. So this little maneuver, this David Brock dirty trick, solves two problems with one stone. It helps knock down Bernie, because after all, his people are involved in violence, and it also disqualifies Trump as a future vote by trying to brand him as a racist or a bigot. The whole thing is it's a kabuki dance. It's all orchestrated, and I think it's vitally important that Trump understand it's not Bernie or the Sanders campaign that's disrupting his rallies. This is a Hillary Clinton operation. I don't just have sources, Alex. I have impeccable sources.
Amazing. Again, Roger Stone. We're going to get this video up on Infowars.com. I'm live tomorrow, 4 to 6 p.m. with the Sunday show. I hope you can pop in to the full audience tomorrow to break more of this down. But what other tidbits that your source or sources told you inside their operation? I mean, obviously, folks don't want the specifics. We don't want to expose who the moles are inside these anti-American organizations, Mr. Stone.
Hillary Clinton personally empowered a certain New York member of Congress to approach the billionaire John Lewis to pay for a portion of this overall program. This is not just Chicago. You're now going to see these phony demonstrators, these ringers, showing up at other Trump events. It's part and parcel of a major effort to try to smear Trump. So that's as much as I'm prepared to say, because I don't want to divulge my sources. That way we can continue to get the inside scoop for your listeners at Infowar.com.
All right. Thank you so much, Roger. Appreciate your time and giving us this scoop right after you sent it out on your Twitter. Tell folks about your Twitter and about your website if they want to follow exactly what you're doing in real time.
Sure. You can go to Roger J. Stone Jr., Roger Stone Jr. on Twitter. You can go to stonezone.com. And you can, if you want to help us in our ongoing effort to stop the voter theft that is going on against Trump right now, even as we speak, in Ohio, where we are preparing to bring a lawsuit over the format of the Ohio ballot, because we believe it was purposely changed to disadvantage Trump. We are chasing accurate reports of voter irregularities and fraud in Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Hawaii, Idaho, and now finally, as I expected, in Florida. The reason this is important is because if a case can be proved of pervasive voter fraud, we reserve the right to challenge the seating of those delegates to the Republican National Convention in front of the Credentials Committee or the entire committee. Meaning, if I can prove that Ted Cruz stole Texas, then we would appeal to the Credentials Committee to unseat his delegates and seat the delegates of Donald J. Trump.
Amazing. Well, if anybody thinks that they wouldn't pull something like this, Just look at how Hillary stole Ohio, which they now admit in the news did happen to Sanders. That's been confirmed. You're saying it happened to Trump. The evidence is there. Look at how she stole New Hampshire. He won by 20 points. She still got the delegates, more delegates. And look at Texas with all the anomalies that happened. And now everything you said 3 weeks ago on my show, on a Facebook mentions that Drudge linked to, has now been proven. They're doing a contested convention. They are putting all the Koch money behind it. Wow. Well, Roger, I hope you can come on with us tomorrow. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect here and finish up the Facebook mentions, and I'll call you right back to have a short discussion. Thank you so much for sharing this exclusive.
Let me say two things. One, you can go to stopthesteal.org if you want to help. Secondarily, there's skullduggery afoot in both California and now in the Virgin Islands, where delegates are being stolen from Donald Trump. So we're anxious for the help of any patriot who wants to either report voter irregularity if they know about it or send a small contribution. Stopthesteal.org.
Absolutely. And some people out there, I've seen the media go, Stone claims they're already stealing Ohio or California. There's early voting. There's absentee folks. They're stealing it. That's why Kasich is so confident. Let me ask you this, because the listeners are asking and they want to know, and then I'll let you go because you're busy. And I need to call you back off air anyways. And I'm doing this low tech right now. So folks, bear with the audio. Turn it up if you're having trouble hearing. That's what that dial's for. I'm not griping. As a few folks are like, it isn't that loud. Well, turn up the audio to 11. But Roger, looking at this, and the things that are happening in the campaign, where are the major players right now? What are the major threats to them trying to unseat Trump when we see what's happening with Kasich, Rubio, what's happening with people like Cruz, and then separately, when that guy tried to rush the stage to attack Trump, he turned to go after the guy himself. What a novel way to respond in this metrosexual male world. People are really excited to see that Trump didn't jump in fear or fall down on the ground or hide behind a Secret Service like so many other globalists do.
Yeah, no, I think all of this is backfiring on the cabal. The problem here is that I think the assault on Trump is going to give Trump a head of steam going into both the Ohio and Florida primaries. I'm confident of victory in Florida, where there's just a groundswell for Trump, despite the drumbeat of negative ads like nothing I've ever seen. I mean, you cannot turn on the TV, the cable, the radio without getting a negative ad attacking Donald J. Trump, courtesy of the Koch brothers' friends. They're very clever, the Kochs. They keep saying, well, it's not our money. No, they merely raised the money. They just don't have any of their own in this particular pot. And then Ohio is very, very close. Now, John Kasich voted for NAFTA. John Kasich has supported every cockamamie internationalist trade deal this country has ever blundered into. He's a neocon, folks. He's a Bush Republican. And I see that contest is very close. The problem here is if Trump continues winning primaries, but he loses an occasional caucus state to, say, Cruz, as he has in Idaho and a few other states, then it is possible for Trump to get to the convention with short of the 1,237 magic number, in which case they will attempt to euchre this away from Trump in a second ballot. Mitt Romney's at the table. Mitch McConnell's at the table. Paul Ryan is at the table. Marco Rubio, little Marco's at the table. Jeb Bush is at the table. John Kasich is at the table. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce is at the table. They will do anything necessary to steal this nomination from Donald Trump.
And the American people are not at the table of the establishment. They have never been so naked and open. Final question, StoneZone.com. Roger Stone's our guest right now. Final question. I know you can't talk about private stuff when you talk to Trump almost every day, sometimes for hours, when he's on his plane or landing or traveling.
I'm not going to characterize when I talk.
No, I understand. Let me ask you this question. How?
We talk from time to time, and we
sure.
And those conversations are, of course.
Sure. But I mean, how he seems energized on the campaign trail is what I'm getting at. I mean, and he said today, hey, I've already made billions. I'm here to pay you back. Let's save America. He really seems to be more energized than even when he got on the campaign trail a year ago. Is that accurate?
He's a brawler. He's thriving on the fight. This is the fight to save America. He understands what's happening. He understands the establishment is pulling out the stops with these phony demonstrations. He understands that the same kind of attacks we saw against Barry Goldwater in 1964. It's the same playbook. They're trying to tattoo him to eliminate him as an alternative in this election.
All right.
I would describe describes him as very excited, very pumped, very proud of the people who show up at his rallies, totally opposed to violence, completely opposed to violence. He understands violence is counterproductive for his campaign. I think he finds it outrageous that some would abridge his First Amendment rights. I mean, he doesn't. Our supporters don't go to Black Lives Matter rallies and try to shut them down.
Yeah, nobody went to Obama rallies when he had smaller crowds 8 years ago and tried to shut him down. These are really despicable anti-free speech, anti-American people. Thanks for sharing this with us, Roger Stone. Big breaking news. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect with you and call you back in a few minutes. Thank you, sir.
Many thanks.
All right. There you go, folks. And again, I was on the road whenever I got this information, and I don't know how to low-tech sit here and hold the phone up to Facebook mentions so you can hear Roger Stone, because by the time I got to the studio, he had to go to another meeting. But I literally pulled over to a friend's house who is running the other phone right now. But there's Roger Stone. 3 weeks ago, we interviewed him several times here in Austin, became big international news. And this is low-tech, but it is just as important as that interview. And I think, the headline we're putting out at Infowars.com is that Hillary caught financing anti-Trump rallies and coordinating them. But beyond that, Hillary caught in dirty trick against Trump and Sanders. And of course, Sanders folks aren't going to show up in T-shirts and attack. And I was thinking, Sanders people? They're not. No, this is a whole Hillary deal to burn Trump and Sanders. You can really see it. And it's in Chicagoland where they both basically come from. She's a transplant down there to carpetbagger down there. Nothing wrong with being a carpetbagger. I mean, I'll move up north if I wanted to. I love Northerners. I love Donald Trump. It's just she is a literal carpetbagger. If you come from the north to bring jobs, you're a great guy. If you come down here to take over and oppress the country bumpkins, you're bad, like Hillary, like they do folks up in Chicago. And they're trying to start a race war. It's truly disgusting. And we'll be breaking it all down tomorrow, 4 to 6 p.m. Central, with the Sunday edition. I'm going to call him right back. I'm sure he'll probably be able to come on tomorrow. If not, I'll tape something before. Trump's going to be coming on again soon. On our show as he's done before, and we're just here fighting for the Republic. Some folks in my office a few months ago still didn't like Trump. They all love him now. It's just because you can see it's real. The whole system's against him. This is amazing. In this whole plastic, technotronic, globalist takeover era, whether Trump's good, bad, or indifferent, doesn't matter. He's standing up. The system hates it. It's amazing. Infowars.com/show is where, if you don't have an affiliate in your area, AM, FM, UHF, VHF cable, we're on a lot of TV stations now. If you don't have that, call your station, ask them to pick it up. They can look up the Alex Jones and Infowars Nightly News feeds. But also just tune in to Infowars.com/show. Find all the free iPhone apps, Droid apps, podcasts, video feeds, audio feeds, whatever it is, shoutcast feeds. We've got scores of them. Infowars.com/show, and it's all absolutely free. It's all about fighting the globalist. It's all about defending the Republic and making America free again, great again, healthy again, strong again, and connected to something bigger than just mindless worship of the state again. I'm Alex Jones signing off for this special edition with Roger Stone. I want to thank him. I want to thank folks that are here running the camera for me. I'm going to get back in the car and drive back to meet with my family right now. So again, this is on the road. If folks are complaining about the low-tech nature of it, I'm working 7 days a week. I'll try to do better, though. I'm serious. I've got a serious job, and I'm fully committed. I apologize. The quality wasn't better. I will do better next time.